Hey, I used to weigh 350 pounds, so I bought about 30 bucks worth of food, and I wanted to show you how I like to meal prep it to help me keep myself on track. Here I have the famous boneless, skinless chicken breasts, because I'm going to show you how to properly cook it, and these are chicken leg quarters, which is the thigh and the leg with all the bones and the skin still attached. Then we're going to season these up. I have an Italian chicken seasoning for the breasts. Then for the chicken quarters, this one says smoky citrus. One thing I watch for with seasoning blends is just added sugar. Also, when I make my own homemade seasoning blends, I'll leave salt out. This way I control how much salt goes in, depending on how I'm going to use it. Don't forget to season the other side. Next, while our chicken hangs out, we're going to cook some rice in the oven. I have about 2 cups of rice that I have already washed. Then we're going to fill the level of water, so if you touch the rice with your fingertip, the water comes up to your first knuckle right there. Cover this up with some foil or a tight-fitting lid and into a 375-degree oven for 40 minutes. Then I'm just going to large dice some sweet potatoes, but this can be any mix of any kind of potatoes, or even harder squashes like butternut. And we'll get our sweet potatoes onto a lined half sheet tray. Next is to take 1 whole onion. We're going to cut it in half just like this, then turn it 90 degrees and sort of thick slice your halved halves. With a head of cabbage, I like to cut the whole thing directly in half right through the core. So then you have 2 halves, you leave the core intact just like this. Cut each half in half, making a quarter. Now you have access to the core right here. You can hold your knife at an angle, slide it in there, and you remove the whole entire core. Then for this, I'm gonna cut each quarter in half again, then just sort of thick slice it. With both our sweet potatoes and cabbage, we're gonna give it a little bit of olive oil, a decent pinch of kosher salt, and just get everything coated. Oh, for me, when I meal prep like this, I can never have enough half sheet trays and pans like this that can go into the oven. But then both of these are going in the same oven as our rice. Then I have 2 pans over medium heat. We're gonna add some olive oil, and we're gonna sear our chicken skin side down. Obviously, our boneless skinless has no skin, but I'm gonna show you how to perfectly cook it so it's gonna be delicious. Pans and burners will typically have hot spots, so after a couple minutes, you're gonna look like this. I'll actually keep it on the same side, but rotate it so I get a nice even sear. But then after a couple more minutes, your one side is gonna look like this, gorgeous. Flip it and we're gonna do it to the other side. And same thing with our leg quarters. Then after a couple more minutes, we're gonna put our chicken onto the same tray. I've just changed to a new piece of parchment, and we're gonna go into your same workhorse oven. And when I put my chicken in the oven, I happened to notice that my sweet potatoes were done, so now they can cool. And also, when I cook cabbage like this, I purposely put it in a pan that it crowds. This way, as it gets char on the top, I can take it out, stir in the char, and now I have a new layer of uncooked cabbage and onion that I can re-char. But the trick to cooking perfect chicken breasts, these are different tongs by the way, is to cook it to an internal temperature of 150 to 155 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature of this is going to continue to rise before it starts to come down to room temperature. This is how you keep your chicken breasts nice and juicy and not dry and chalky. These still need a few minutes, so back in they go. Then once your rice is cooked, we're gonna get it uncovered. And I usually like to use a fork because I can fluff it without mushing it around like with a spoon. Then you're gonna put it onto a plate or on a flat surface like a cookie sheet. But don't worry, at the end, if you use a spoon, this all comes out of the bottom of the pan. But getting it all flat like this not only allows it to cool way faster, but when you reheat this, it's gonna stay nice and fluffy and chewy. Now everything is cooled, and I typically will cook dark meat like this in between 170 and 180 degrees Fahrenheit. It allows all the fat and the connective tissue that make dark meat so delicious to melt and break down. But now we have a ton of options. We can pick apart all of our dark meat and shred it. Oh, don't forget to rub it in all this deliciousness on your tray. We can slice some chicken breast. See, it's even juicy cold. Plate this up. Maybe you want 6-7 ounces of chicken breast. I'll do about 5 ounces of sweet potato and a cup of cabbage. Now when I get home from work, I plate all this stuff up, I stick it in the microwave for a minute, minute and a half, dinner's done. But I can also take about a cup of rice, my pulled chicken dark meat. Then another great option for me are vegetables like broccoli or green beans. I can stick these in there raw like this, then when I microwave this, there's no additional oil or fat, and this will stay nice and crunchy. Now if you notice, I didn't use any garlic anywhere. I'm gonna be eating this food for at least the next few days, and at least to me, garlic, while it won't get you sick, is usually that first thing that starts to taste a little old. But no worries, because this is where you get to have fun with your favorite healthy condiments. This is one of my new favorites. It's a tikka masala hot sauce. It's perfect for your chicken and rice bowls because it makes it taste like Indian food. I'll tag these guys down below, but whether it's your favorite hot sauce, a sugar-free barbecue sauce, or even your seasoning blend, you can make each plate or each bowl of food taste entirely different. And follow me because I get asked constantly on how long to cook chicken in the oven for, and my answer is always to get a meat thermometer.